Hey guys, I got a pretty cool new truck from DRC, and this is the 001E. It's a small brushless RC truck. Looks like it'll be pretty darn good for a beginner in the hobby. It's got, aside from brushless motors, it's got full differentials on the front and back. It just has shock absorbers because it doesn't have oil-filled shocks, unfortunately, which is one thing I would like to see on these entry-level hobby-grade trucks, is include more oil-filled shocks. Of course, four-wheel drive, rechargeable, all the stuff that we expect. Full scale means that it's fully proportional. So pretty excited to take a look at this truck. So let's get it on the table, take a look at it, and then we'll get outside to drive right after this. All right, guys, let's take a look at this truck and see what all comes with it. Let's pull it on out of here. Now, they don't say the scale on this, so I don't exactly know. We'll get an idea once you pull it out of here and what the size of this truck is. Again, they don't have it on here listed on the instructions or the box. It just says a full scale, which of course means is an odd way of saying fully proportional. But here is the truck. Looks pretty darn cool. This looks to me like somewhere in the 1/14th scale size. Again, this is brushless, but just has friction shocks on it. We'll take a closer look at the truck in just a moment. They give you, looks like we got two lithium-ion batteries. Looks like these are 1500 milliamp, of course 7.4 volt, and you're not going to see too well. Let's pull them out of the bag here. These are Dean's plugs on these, so that's good to see, and a balance plug, so you can make sure you use these on a hobby grade charger and get them charged up good. But they're going to include, and it's inside the box, they've got a charger here. Let's go ahead and open up the bag here and see what we all get inside of here. You're going to get, of course, a cleaning brush, your charger, Phillips screwdriver, which I don't think it would be from China if it didn't have a Phillips screwdriver with it. And they give you some an extra shock. Is that just one of them? I've never seen that before. That's interesting. Let's dump it all out. An extra shock, I guess, if you break one, but again, these are just friction, so yeah, it is what it is. Give you, it looks like a turnbuckle or steering link, whatever you want to call it. These are just all pre-molded, but that's nice. If you bust one, then you can replace that. Get some body clips, some extra nuts, and some extra the wheel hub nuts, you know, to drive the car are in there. I don't know if they give you any extra of those the pins that go in there or not, though, because that's sort of important. Yeah, they do. There's one or two of them in there, and your wheel wrench. So let's get the controller out here. Take a look at that. This looks like the kind like I think PX Toys uses, and maybe sort of like the Zenlahong. Your steering trim, and your steering trim and your speed dual rates, so you can crank up your speed all the way or set it down low, and your power button, and it's going to probably take what 3 AA batteries in there. Otherwise, your standard forward, back, reverse brake, and your steering wheel with a nice foam grip. Let's get the car up on the stand. We'll take a closer look at the truck. Okay, guys, I have the truck up here on the stand. Now, this truck looks pretty darn cool. I really like the look of this. Kind of a unique design and patterns on top of the body. And they do have a sticker up on top, which they always put on these, telling you to remove that film. Thankfully, there's no roll cage or anything on there that makes it difficult to pull off. So as you can see here, there is the front bumper, a typical plastic. This definitely takes some impact. We've got probably white LEDs here installed on the front bumper of the truck. So it looks pretty darn cool. I really like the look of it. Let's go ahead and take the body clips off, and we'll take a look underneath the hood, so to speak, so we can take a look at that brushless motor and the internals of this truck. So let's go ahead and pull it off here. And again, you need to take this film off that they show you there. And everything is sort of enclosed on this truck, which is sort of unique. You've got your ESC and a receiver combo here on top, and we got the 3-pin steering servo coming in there, so that's good. If you ever need to replace anything, it should be pretty simple. And here's your Dean's plug for the battery, and then there's your 3 signal wires and power to the brushless motor. And there is your steering servo inside. But everything else is enclosed inside of here. So seeing the actual motor, I don't know if we'll be able to see it. Now there's a way to take this latch off, and this is where you're going to put your battery. So your lithium ion battery is going to go inside this compartment, and these lock it back. That's pretty darn neat. But it looks to me like your brushless motor is enclosed somewhere over on this side. I don't see it offhand. I can say that is a bit interesting. I can see the blue in here, which I believe is part of the can of the brushless motor. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot, because I do worry a little about airflow, because you don't have any kind of easy ventilation there. But hopefully that won't be a problem here, especially that we're only on 2S. You see, you got a metal plate here for some good reinforcement. This is your wire running up to power your front LEDs. You've got metal dog bones on this, which is always good. That means it's not going to break as easily. But again, we just have the friction shocks. But this would be a very easy oil-filled upgrade if you wanted to do that. But it would be nice if they would offer that. There's those plastic turnbuckles. They do give you an extra one, because if you hit something really hard, these are one of the first things that's going to bust on an RC car. And your bumper, as we showed earlier, it's got this nice spring mechanism that will take impact pretty good. So overall, it looks pretty darn nice. We should have and we do, there's our metal. It's going to be difficult to see in the video, but we got a metal shaft running from the front to the rear gearboxes, and it is nice. I wanted to make sure that it was metal, since it's going to be put under a lot of torque between the front and the rear gearboxes. And your power button is situated here on top of the ESC receiver combo. I don't know if they have anything on the amps on this. Oh, it does say here. This is really nice. It's going to be difficult to see in the video because of the glare, and it's just sort of engraved on the plastic, but it says brushless ESC 25 amp 2 and 3S LiPo. That means we can run this on 3S. So I'm going to have to see if I've got a small enough one to fit in here, because 3S would allow us to get a much higher top speed. But then again, the lack of ventilation makes me worry a little bit about the internals and heat running on 3S. But I'll have to see if I've got one. I don't think I've got a 3S that's small enough, but I do have a 3S lithium ion pack that came with a boat, and it's pretty big, but maybe we can rig it up in there. All I want to do is be able to get it inside of there. But we're definitely going to do a 2S test with the factory batteries on this guy, which I think we can pretty much go ahead and do this. So let's get outside and get this truck out and see how it performs. We'll be right back. Okay guys, let's get the 001E by DRC out here for the test drive. Now this truck is actually, I didn't mention this a while ago in the table review, but this truck is basically the 9000E with a different body and brushless system in it. The 9000E had that orange body with the stripes and LEDs underneath to make it glow, but it was only brushed. It also had that enclosed system like this has, where you can't see everything. Now, as I mentioned at the very end of the table review, the ESC on the top of this says it is 25 amp and it is 2S and 3S compatible. So we can get a 3S in here, we can drive it and see how it works. Now right now I have the 2S lithium ion pack inserted in the side, as you guys saw on the table review where that goes. And it's all connected and ready to go. But I do have this 3S lithium ion pack that I can put in here, but it's not gonna fit in that compartment. There's no way I can fit it in there. So I'm going to zip tie it up by the tower supports there, but I'm not gonna be able to get any front body clips on. So I won't be able to necessarily bash with it. I'm afraid we'll rip up the body, but we'll be at least drive it here on the road and get an idea just how much faster it is compared to 2S. I don't have my GPS reader or anything with me today, but we're just going to eyeball it and just see how much of a difference it is between the 2 and the 3S. So we'll do the 2S first, give it a little break, let the motor cool down a little bit, and then take it back out here with the 3S. So let me go ahead and get it turned on here. You have to reach up in here and press on that little button. I'm gonna play some music here if I can find it. There we go. You can hear the ESC make some music. Let's go ahead and turn on the controller. There we go. We know we got power. Let's throw it down here, see how this guy does. Oh yeah, I can tell you right now, it's a lot faster than the 9000E, which was just brush power. I need to do some steering trim. Yeah, that's the brushless power you like. Whoa! Yeah, that's pretty quick. Whoa! I put the brakes on, it literally somersaulted over itself. Oh yeah, that's quick. Wow. But yeah, look how balanced it is. It kind of reminds me of like the Zinlahong 2903 was like that. That's a brushless 2S, and it also had that friction shocks, and it bounced like that. This controller, and I've had this controller many times in the past, the steering knob is very tense. It has a lot of spring to it. It's not the most comfortable when I'm driving. It's not a big deal, but I like one that has a little bit easier turn, doesn't require so much force. Yeah. This is faster than I thought it would be. Sometimes these smaller scale brush systems on 2S can be not much different than driving a 2S brush motor, like a 390. Yeah, this is pretty nice. Wow, you've got to be careful, ease up on this, and don't slam the brake on, because it'll get skittish on you. It revs up, and when it gets going, it's not like a bullet off the start, but as it gets going, just kind of tap the brake, or it'll somersault on you, or it'll skid on you, as it did there around the corner. Probably the way it's geared, the size of the pinion and the spur gear is geared for higher top speed and less acceleration. That's fine. So I'm just kind of easing into it here. Let's ease into it, about half throttle there, 3/4 full throttle. Let's see how sensitive the trigger is here. Let's bring it up here. Is this controller nice and sensitive? Let's give it a little bit I'm giving it a little bit here. Let's see how long till it goes. So yeah, it's got some play, which a toy grade controller usually does. But the hobby grade one is gonna be much more sensitive, but hey, this is not a hobby grade. This is more of an intro to hobby grade. I'd say it's hobby grade, but to me, full hobby grade would have oil-filled shocks. So thankfully, that's gonna be a very inexpensive upgrade. You would go to eBay or Banggood, you can probably get a full set of oil-filled shocks for under 20 bucks. And then you're gonna see a huge difference in stability. Wow, yeah, it just spins out there. Yeah, throwing the rocks. And this is four-wheel drive, but you can see there on a single motor, you're still getting a lot of, because the motor's in the rear, you're getting more power to the rear wheels. That's why it's doing donuts and such easier. If you saw the DRC I did before this, which was dual motor powered, I had a 390 rear and 390 front. That one did not do the donuts near as easy because it was getting more equal power distribution from the front and rear motors. But I'll take this brushless over that any day. Not that brushed is a problem, I still like my brush cars, but if I have a choice, I'll always take brushless. Get it up here, and yeah, I don't want to drive it down that hill, but yeah. Ooh. Yeah, it's got good power, as you expect it to have. Let's take it up here into on this lower grass, and then we'll bring it over back here and put 3S on it and see how I think 3S is going to be. I worry 3S at top speed may be difficult to control. But the way this is geared, with it being more for top end speed, I'm thinking it may be a little bit less powerful to like get going if you're stuck in the grass. Once you're going, it should be fine, but it might be a little bit less geared for that. Let's see. Oh, that's like a dart when it gets going. Yeah, that grass there is pretty tall, so I don't know if it's going to be able to get through that anyway, but this is too tall for this size of a truck. This grass is getting stuck on, but this lower grass that's been mowed at some point here, it can fly through. But if I stop it, I'm thinking that's where, let's stop it and then give it, see how that, like it's, the way it's kind of geared. Now once it gets going, then it's fine. Again, it's just because it's sort of geared for top end speed, which I like fast cars, so that's fine by me. Oh, nice. And here are those LEDs I didn't mention here in the, since we took it outside. Now, I think I said, yeah, I messed up in the table view. I was pointing to these being the lights, and it's actually inside here because I wasn't paying attention to where the wires were running. I can tell you what, those sure look like bulbs in the front. I could have sworn those were the lights, but yeah, there are your white LEDs in the front. They're just not in the exact spot I pointed to. Let's just toss it down here and take it over to my real car. All right, to keep this video from being ridiculously long, let's pause the video here, get that 3S strapped in there, and just see what kind of crazy speed we get out of that. So be right back, guys. Okay, guys, so I have the 3S in here, and actually, since I got it zip tied down, I was actually able to get the body clips in the front. Doesn't look totally right, but at least the body shouldn't come flying off. You can see up in here, hopefully, the white 3S LiPo there mounted at the top of the chassis. So let's get it out here and see. I'm trying to get the balance plug out of the way so it doesn't get caught up in the wheels. Let's see how this guy does now in 3S. Whoa! That's exactly what I was worried about if I didn't have the body all the way down, how easily we'd tear that off. That's about half speed right there. Let's just ease into it. That's still not top speed. I want to get it in a spot where I feel like I've got good control of it, because I think it's going to be super fast. Let's ease into it. Whoa, there's top speed. Yeah, 3S is going to be awesome. Whoa! It's going to be, like I said, sometimes I call that skittish. It's probably not the right word. Skid. It wants a skid. Skittish, you think of a cat that's afraid of something skittish. Whoa, look at that. Yeah, it's really fast in 3S. So for general bashing, off-road 2S would be perfect. If you want to do speed runs, 3S certainly seems to be okay at this point. But you got to really, as with anything that's really fast, you got to ease into it. You can't floor it off the get-go, especially the way this is geared towards top speed. You can see, whoa! That's exactly what I was worried about. It tumbled down the hill. I'm gonna make sure, I think it's pulling to the left a little bit. That's another problem too, is you really gotta get it trimmed up good when you're doing a top speed test, because you don't want to have to constantly be adjusting your controller for it pulling. Whoa! Oh, hopefully I didn't lose it down this thick bushes. Now here it is right here. Yeah, this is really, really fast. Sort of reminds me when I tried the 3S on the Larlo. You know, I'm not the greatest with these really fast stuff, trying to get it, you know, from crashing. Not that I haven't had fast cars. I've had ones I've built that have been faster than this, but on the stuff that's more toy grade like this, it's just the controllers are not as, you know, they're not as sensitive. So you have to make bigger adjustments. Let's try to bring it around here and try to trim it up a little bit. See, it's so fast that trying to trim it up is difficult, because as you get up to the higher speed, it starts pulling, or the tires lose traction with the road. So keep that in mind. It seems like I got it trimmed pretty good. That's not too bad. I mean, the cars are always going to pull a little bit. It's just so bouncy. Whoa. As soon as you get it up to full speed, it just, the tires lose traction with the road. Now, ideally, you'd want to ease it up even slower than I am, like this whole length of the road. I'm not the greatest at that compared to like my friend Dave and some of the lot of speed runs. He's really good at getting these cars up, like the Rolarlo. He did top speed, and I mean I couldn't keep it on the road. But yeah, there we go. Let's try here. We can get more of a straightaway. That curve is obviously less than ideal. That's why he does his on those straightaway where Dave does his. If I could actually get the truck, there we go. Oh man, it is just, like, it's got a ton of power. Yeah, I used to build these cars and get them this speed, but the 110 scale is also a little bit easier to control. The buggies, they were lower to the ground. This is very, and this is very bouncy. Well, see, that was not even full speed. Yeah, it's very, very fast. I like this 3S. My recommendation would be, if you're gonna go 3S on this, first thing you gotta do, get oil-filled shocks on this, because that will reduce the bounce. I'm going, this is not a super bumpy road. It's used heavily by the city here, and it's just so bouncy that causes the tires to lose traction with the road, because these tires are not bad. I just pull them to the right. I know this video is going to be really long, but I really want to get some decent runs in here with the 3S. Yeah, that is really quick. That's about half speed. I think on 3S we're probably looking at 40 miles an hour. Yeah, that's 35 to 40 would be my guess. It's really quick for this particular build. Whoa! Look at that. It's got, I tell you, the 3S power is just remarkable compared to 2S. Yeah, that's really quick. Yeah, that's getting a little better as you get used to this and you get on the straightaway. You get, and the controller as well. Getting used to getting it up. Whoa, let's see it. Man, it got stuck. All right, guys. Well, I think that's enough. Well, this video is going to be insanely long, so let me go grab the truck here and then we'll wrap the video up. All right, guys, pulled it out of there, the grass and the weeds there along the road. I got to say, I'm impressed. I mean, for what it is, it's not super expensive. You're getting brushless, and the fact you can go 3S, as long as you're willing to rig it up like I am, because I don't think you're going to find a 3S that's small enough to fit in the side here, and if you do, the capacity is going to be so low it's not going to drive very long. Felt like it would maybe start to lose a little punch, so forget what the capacity, I think that was a 2000 milliamp 3S pack, so you know, it should be a decent run time. But yeah, overall this is pretty darn good. All right, guys, that wraps up the review of the DEERC 001E. My mouth's dry. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. While you're at it, click that bell, and that way you're notified every time I do upload a new video. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.